At Energy's map right now, and we'll try to show this in a little bit, but there really is not much in our area. Honestly, West Baton Rouge Parish looks like the most. You know, you talked about earlier how it went through there. They've got about 2,000 out, but, you know, Tangipahoa has some. There's a little around the Hammond area.
While you're talking, there's a new tornado warning that just came down.
But really, from Energy's point of view, you can see it from the west in that, you know, Calcasieu Parish, that's, you know, Lake Charles area, East Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge Parish. Those are the main areas with the power outages right there right now for Entergy. Really not in Tangipahoa Parish. And look, the brunt of the storms hasn't hit us yet in the metro area, so we'll have to see, you know, over the next hour or so as we stay with you here on the air, you know, what type of damage we have here.
Right. Okay, Lee. So I appreciate the update. And again, you know, as Lee mentioned, that has really not hit the metro itself. Over to Baton Rouge, there are some West Baton Rouge outages. But this new pink area here, I'll show it to you before we go into the velocity. From basically Houma eastward, this is a tornado warning in pink. So this just came out. Let's see if we can see any velocity as we go back in. And again, the base velocity, just not really seeing a whole lot, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, at this point, SR velocity, maybe a bit coming in northward. This is a different scan of velocity. Right in this area here on the northern edge, we could see near Bayou Cane some definite strong winds that could create some problems. So Bayou Cane, if you're in that area near Houma, I would get into your safe place right now. This storm is moving 55 miles per hour to the north and east. I mean, these things are really moving quickly, so they come up without a lot of warning, and the good news is that they move out quickly. They don't slowly move on by. I mean, they really have a lot of speed to them. So as of right now, we're seeing the potential in this area here, near Bayou Cane, just to the north and west of Houma, a possible tornado that's moving off to the north and east. Now, you see Raceland, Matthews, Bayou Gauche, also Des Allemands. Again, that's on the northern end of this warning. So if it holds together, you still have a good 20 to 25 minutes. But I don't want you to let your guard down. You're saying, well, that's not even near us. It's moving in your direction. So that's going to be the key as we put the warnings out. It kind of lets you know we try and give as much warning as we can to get into your safe place, like around Bayou Cane and Houma, get into the interior of your room. Remember, as many walls around you as possible, away from windows. And again, that's the safest point in your home that you can be. Away from windows, interior, where you have maybe some bedrooms and even the outer walls of your home protecting you in the event that you did have a tornado in your area. This is the area here that we're watching very closely. Once again, it's right near Bayou Cane and Houma. As this moves off to the northeast, it's going to go right into areas near Bayou Cane and also right near Houma. Let's put the actual reflectivity in again, and we can show you that this is the area here that we're watching. So right in this vicinity here is the possible tornado as it moves off to the north and off to the east. Schriever, Gray, Thibodaux, heavy storms right now, but what we're monitoring is the potential of some rotation coming in on our velocity, once again, right over areas near Bayou Cane to near Houma. This area here is the area that we're concerned about. Bayou Cane, Houma. Again, get into your safe place. Hopefully, this may be just a skip or also a frontal cloud that's being detected by radar, but nevertheless, we want you to be in your safe place as it moves off to the north and east. Like the other one, remember from Livingston, it finally dissipated just before it went into Tangipahoa Parish. Long track tornadoes, when you have the hatched area, when we saw level 3, that means that we could see EF2 or greater tornadoes or long track, meaning that they could go for many miles on the ground, where some tornadoes, they pop in and they pop out within a half a mile and that's it. So these have the potential of being on the ground for a long time. Hence, take a look at how far out this warning goes. So again, if this were to hold on the ground from Houma all the way toward Luling, that is a lot of, 45 miles maybe? So again, this is the area that we're watching, but farther south, this is the beginning of the warning itself. So what the National Weather Service does, they go in, they put the warning out in the beginning where it would track out to possible cities if it holds together. And what we hope is that as these travel north and east, we hope that they do break down and don't do any damage. So I want to come back out now because really a big part of the metro, and we're going to stay with this with you guys, the line itself, it's very thin, and it may last only around 20 to 30 minutes, but the problem is that along that line we discussed, we have veering winds. From the south, we have strong winds. With the front moving in, we've got strong winds from the west. So with the wind and the rise in the atmosphere, you get rotation, and that could cause certainly tornadoes. And again, here is the track that we're looking at right in this area here as it moves northeastward. Now, notice it's a trajectory toward the city. Well, let's hope it doesn't go that far. But nevertheless, this is a line that North Shore right now, you're getting hit very hard from basically all the central part of Washington, western and central side of St. Tammany into Lake Maurepas. I mean, Lake Maurepas is getting hit really hard at this point. Let's take off some of these different watches and warnings, and we'll kind of stop this for you here, and we'll kind of come on down and do a radar tour. So first of all, if you're up toward Tylertown, we have some cable services up there. Columbia, you're seeing the line in your vicinity. Traveling south, Angie, you're seeing quite a bit. Vornado, you're seeing a few showers, but that main line is heading your way. Over to Franklinton, some big storms as well. Down to Folsom, you're getting into it. Some lightning, some thunder, heading down to Covington. That line is moving eastward. Hammond, Ponchatoula, you're just about out of it. But Ponchatoula, as you can see, some big storms still in your area as they lift off to the north and east. Down to Mandeville and Madisonville. Again, you're under a warning because, and I'll pop it back on real quick, you're under the warning because this line is getting ready to move your way from Mandeville over toward Covington. So I'll take it back off so we can actually see. Now take a look at I-55. You're saying, well, wait, where's Lake Maurepas? I mean, it is shrouded in very heavy rain within the main line. So, I mean, we're talking heavy, heavy downpours, quite a bit of lightning. And remember, we talked about the causeway at this point. Lee and Meg, I don't think we've had any reports of the causeway being closed, but as that line moves in, we could possibly see the causeway being closed for a time. So once again, 55 heading south toward 10, down to 310, some strong storms getting ready to move into the river parishes. Already, Laplace, you're seeing the heavy rainfall. So let's continue with this. Down toward Laplace, the heavy storms continuing to move eastward. Lutcher, Vacherie, also Thibodaux and Schriever, you're just about out of it. Gray, you got a lot of rain in your vicinity, down to Homa, and farther south toward Terrio, and also as we move toward the coastal areas, toward just east of Terrebonne Bay. So down to the south from Cutoff, Bellamy, down to Galliano and Golden Meadow, seeing a few showers, but again, that line is going to be moving your way into the city. Once again, from Laplace over to Norco, those big storms moving east. Could see more warnings come down. We're not going to discount that. Possibly tornado warnings as well. Right now, we have one tornado warning that we'll get back to in just a moment from St. Benedict, heading over toward Folsom, Sun, and Bush. We've seen that. Right now, Mississippi, coming in from Picayune to Kill, over toward Bay St. Louis. Not a whole lot going on, but again, it is moving your way, so we definitely need to pay attention to that. Down south, this is the area we're watching. This is a tornado warning in effect. Let's put the velocity on. Oh, tell you what, north of Homa, we talked about getting into your safe place. This is a strong rotation here, very, very strong. We're going to take a break right now. We're going to come right back. This is Fox 8 News at 10 o'clock. We just wanted to reset. So again, right now, 10 o'clock, you're watching Fox 8 News at 10, continuing live coverage, tornado warnings that have been issued with this storm. As everything moves off to the northeast, we're seeing the tornado warning right in this area here as we see it.
From Fox 8, this is breaking news.
And good evening, everyone. Lee Zurich here.
And I'm Meg Gatto. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Bruce Katz, who's watching a tornado warning at the moment.
That is right. We've been watching these tornado warnings, Lee and Meg, and, we've had several of those, but we haven't had any reports of any really damage at this point. But we are watching this tornado warning where we're starting to see these areas of red and green come together. And again, long tracked as well. I mean, this thing could go all the way from Raceland and north of Bayou Gauche. So once again, long track tornadoes are possible, but if you're in Homa, in this area here, we need you in your safe place. And in fact, as I come in, it'll put in Bayou Cane, over to Bayou Blue. These areas, you need to be in your safe place right now. interior of your room. Once again, the interior part away from windows, and make sure you have as many walls around you as possible, as this definitely could be a tornado on the ground moving off to the north and to the east. Now, we also have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from Laplace in these areas here, putting on reflectivity again. All areas within these orange watch boxes, or warning boxes rather, Norco down to Luling, west of Lutcher, you're breaking up now. Also, as we move in toward Lake Maurepas, western edge, beginning to see the lake within the radar beam, which is good, but this heavy line of storms with lightning, we could certainly see the threat of tornadoes and strong gusty damaging winds, like we're seeing the tornado warning down south near Bayou Cane. Now, on the North Shore, we are still under a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. Tickfaw, Hammond, Amite, Ponchatoula, you're done with it. Happy to report our viewers along 55, you're out of the woods and free and clear from any possible tornado or severe thunderstorm warning. So as that line moves east of you, if you live in these areas, you're looking good. All the threat is gone. If you're east of this line, we still have a ways to go, 45 minutes to an hour. So from Folsom, heading down to Ponchatoula, east of that area, we're seeing the heavy rain and also a big spoke of rain moving in right now near Madisonville and also down toward Manchac. In fact, we can come in and you can see Lee's Landing, which is right around the Hammond area. Manchac, that's right along the Tangipahoa River. Also near Rudock, that's 55 as you're heading over towards, say, Middendorf, so toward, the Manchac area. And then down toward Belterre and Laplace, over toward St. Charles and St. John Parish. We are seeing near Edgard as well some moderate to heavy rainfall heading down to Montz, Destrehan. So to the east of this area, still quite a bit to go. To the west, we're beginning to come out of it. Lutcher, you're just about done with it at this point. Still some moderate rainfall, but as that line continues to move eastward, we're seeing definite, rapid improving behind this line. So again, even though you're seeing the warning box here, east of that area, once this line moves away, winds have shifted off to the west. We're seeing drier air moving in and also quick stability with the atmosphere. So this line is the one we're going to be watching, and we expect it to be kind of a thin line. We expected it to be overnight on Tuesday. So in terms of the modeling and the forecasting, it really behaved itself. And fortunately, we haven't had any confirmed reports of any really damage at this point. As we come back into the velocity here, still seeing kind of a interesting area here where you see kind of the reds and the greens coming together. So we've mentioned Bayou Cane and Bayou Blue to get into your safe place. This could certainly be rotation or a tornado. And now Raceland. If you're in Raceland, we need you to get into your safe place. As this moves northeastward, if it holds together, we could see some strong gusty winds, if not a tornado, coming in toward the Raceland area. So you can see, just updated, it's moving quickly. Raceland, as mentioned, get into your safe place. If you have your Fox 8 app downloaded on your iPhone or your Android phone or whatever iPad you have, if the power goes out, you can watch us live on Fox 8 and we'll let you know when it's clear to get out. As we've showed you, Bayou Cane, Homa, Mandalay, you're in the clear right now. Bayou Blue still should be in their safe place. Raceland, you need to be getting into your safe place right now. This storm is approaching your area at about 55 miles per hour. So it's moving very, very quickly. And I want to show you on the northern end of it just how far north this goes from Des Allemands all the way toward Booty and Luling, just outside of the Warren box. So this is a very long track possible tornado where right near Bayou Blue, approaching Raceland, if it holds together, Des Allemands, you'll be in it, and eventually near Booty. So tornado warning, again, let's see on the South Shore, it may just be the update. Let's see if that's it, or they're putting a new one out. Let's see. Actually, they're making a severe thunderstorm warning for St. Tammany and Washington now. So at this point, we still have the tornado warning in effect for St. Charles, Terrebonne, Northern Lafourche, and now we have a severe thunderstorm warning that, let's see, has been till 10:15 on the North Shore. So this, yeah, they've actually extended it northward, heading up toward Folsom. So let's go to that area now. We'll take this out and we'll put on the actual thing. Boy, this, I wish you were here to watch me. This Viper radar can do all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. Gives us a lot of information. So again, here is the actual warning. As you can see, notice we talked about if you're along 55, you're done. Look how the orange area pops to the east. So you're done with the warning there, but now it's shifting eastward. And chances are Bush and Bogalusa, within the next 30 minutes or less, you may actually be under the warning. But the good news is that we're beginning to peel away all the warnings from I-55. So I-55, you're done right now. Light rain, gusty winds at times, but the severe weather threat is gone. Once again, near Bogalusa, Bush, you're seeing it. Mandeville, Madisonville, Covington, get ready. This storm system, it's coming in. In fact, you're probably seeing winds up to 40 to 45 at times gusting. And with that line moving in, we can certainly see the threat of some of that wind damage. So let's focus in. From Manchac, here's a line moving east. Madisonville, Mandeville, look at all this mess coming in. Trajectory coming right over the North Shore along I-12. So again, if you're on the I-12 corridor in the next 15 to 30 minutes, lots of lightning, heavy downpours, gusty winds, could see some damaging winds right along the Mandeville-Madisonville area coming down. Now, here's the causeway itself. On the north end, pretty strong storm right there, but this line is going to be moving toward the causeway probably in about 15 to 18 minutes. Again, this is moving at about 45 to 55 miles per hour, so it's moving at a very fast clip. Let's come on down south, and we can see once again the tornado warning that we had in effect here, still in effect, and let's see the timing if they've done any changes with it. Tornado warning through, let's see, at 9:50 they issued it until 10:30. So right now we are looking at, what time is it now? All right, 10:07. So probably another 23 minutes on the tornado warning, but they may even reissue that too. So in the metro, let's go to that. New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, not so much as of yet. Most of it has been toward Laplace and also toward St. Charles and St. John parishes, down to Vacherie, down to Bayou Buff. Des Allemands, getting ready to get into it right now as these storms continue to push your way. So you may be saying, well, we haven't really gotten much in the metro. Well, this is what's coming, this big line, and as you can see, some big storms. I think we heard a little thunder here at Fox 8, but nevertheless, as these passing storms go by, we could get some brief downpours and some brief and gusty winds as well. Let's come on down and show you what we're looking at down toward Cutoff and Bellamy. Don't want to forget you guys down there. Down to Lafitte, Port Elahash, Port Sulphur, Buras. Right now, that line really not affecting you. We do have some shower activity moving east and north of you up to Hopedale, but the main line itself still has a long way to go from Cutoff over to Golden Meadow to Lafitte. Those storms will continue to move your way. I want to focus in now on that tornado warning. We had a nice little area where we didn't really have many towns, but what I want to do is come in and see where this rotation is and see if that couplet continues. So I'll stop this and we'll actually put on the velocity here. Unbelievable. Raceland, we told you to get in your safe place. You better be in it right now. Raceland to Matthews. We're still watching this area here. This certainly, if not tornadic development, very strong gusty winds. As Viper shows, we talked about it. With the radar, we look at winds to and from. So the beam goes out, shoots, winds going away from the radar, circles back, comes back with winds coming to and from, meaning that would be rotation, round rotation to and from the radar. This is exactly the signature that we're looking at that is showing as the beam shoots out, it's shooting some type of rotation in the low to mid levels of the atmosphere. So certainly Raceland, Matthews, still the tornado warning in effect. Remember, it started way down here just to the north of Mandalay and Homa, and we talked about Gray in those areas. Now it's all the way to Raceland. So if this holds and gets up toward Des Allemands and also Bayou Gauche, we're going to be watching out for the threat of you getting into your safe area over the next 15 minutes. So you need to start thinking north of that area and east. If you live near Des Allemands, Bayou Buff, you're going to be on the extreme northern end. I would take precautions as well, but nevertheless, this tornado moving northeastward toward Des Allemands and Bayou Gauche, if anything, it's going to bring a lot of gusty winds and the possibility of some wind damage as well as even some power outages as it does move in toward your way. This is the only tornado warning that we're looking at right now. At this point, as you can see near Raceland, it all started way down south here and it's traveled northeastward toward Raceland, heading toward Des Allemands and also toward Bayou Gauche. Where does it go beyond that point if it holds together? Well, as you can see, possibly up to Luling, possibly up toward Metairie and Kenner. So again, we're going to be monitoring this very closely as it moves northeastward. And at 10:45 in the next, 32 minutes, let's see, when is the actual expiration of this thing. We'll see if the Weather Service itself is going to actually possibly extend this till 10:30, actually, 10:30. So tornado warning, North Lafourche. Let's see. So it continues it. So for these areas here, possibly squall line, straight line winds, wind damage, Raceland, north of Homa, moving northeast at 55. So yeah, they're sticking with it. So at this point, this is the area we're watching, and we've been watching it too. You can see it just shifted. So the warning has not been extended northward, but from Raceland over to Bayou Gauche, these are the areas you need to be in your safe place as we speak. I'm going to focus in, and Viper will actually bring up some of the other towns, Parody, Des Allemands, Raceland, Matthews, all of these areas here. From Raceland, as you can see, to Des Allemands, the update indicating a shift north and east, moving again at about 55 miles per hour. So Raceland, Des Allemands, Bayou Gauche, get into your safe place right now as we take a tour around the area. I want to show around Metairie, Kenner, the South Shore to see what's going on there. Put in reflectivity. I'm going to take off all the watches, and we can actually get a really good idea of what's going on here. I'm going to put this into motion. This is over the last 30 minutes. So this is 30 minutes of movement on the actual line itself. You can see 55, you're clear at this point. Cutoff down toward areas. Well, there's another tornado warning. Let's see. The bell's going off. This is a tornado warning for Lafourche, St. Charles, Terrebonne. That's just the update with those near Bayou Cane. Okay, so basically they just, they did that. So what they're saying is here, near Carville in Iberville Parish, thunderstorm warning. They had a report of a travel trailer rolled over and destroyed on Stewart Lane. Time estimate on radar was about an hour ago. So these do have the potential. I mean, these do have the history of some strong gusty winds. To turn over a travel trailer and destroy it, again, we still have to watch the strength of these storms and also the winds that come in, because the history behind these things have been incredible. Just a line of tornadoes basically from west of Lafayette all the way throughout areas near Houston and west of that area. They have seen more than likely about 8 to 12 tornadoes, a lot of wind damage as that line moves in. So North Shore, as you can see, 55, you're done. Most of, in the next few minutes, Tangipahoa Parish, you're going to be in the clear. So as it moves off to the east, we're kind of arcing a little bit quicker on the north end, a little bit lagging on the southern end. So the North Shore, you're going to begin to clear out a little bit earlier than the South Shore. So North Shore, we'll take a couple of radar tours coming in. If you live up toward areas of Tylertown and Columbia, there you can see those lines moving in. Right now, Kentwood, Roseland, Amite, Independence, pretty much done. I'm going to stop the radar, and actually, that's an easier way to show you exactly where those storms are, and basically they're done. So this is live, 10:14, that's where we are right now. Kentwood, Roseland, done. All of Tangipahoa with the exception of the southern end as we go toward Lake Maurepas. Manchac, you have a little while to go, but that's what's going to happen. As the line moves off to the east, we're beginning to see things basically start to dry out with light rain, and the severe threat as it moves away behind you. Once that red is gone, you're in the clear from this entire episode. Tylertown, east of you, you're seeing it right now. Covington and Mandeville, let's focus into your area. I mean, some really big downpours here. Look at the lightning, too. I mean, we're talking from Rudock all the way into the northwestern part of Lake Pontchartrain. Look at all the lightning here. So as that moves in, all this lightning is going to continue to spread in throughout this area. But the good news is that we're really not looking at any tornado warnings, although as we put this on, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect. Let's put the actual warnings back on, and you can see, actually, Mandeville, Madisonville, that one was dropped. So Manchac right now, we're seeing this area here under a severe thunderstorm warning. It'll be interesting to see if they extend the warning into Mandeville, Madisonville, even up to Covington. Now, Covington right now, you're seeing some really heavy rain and downpours as we speak. Lightning strikes within this entire frame from basically Folsom all the way down to Belterre and east of that area. What we're seeing is about 75 strikes within this main line of storms. As they move eastward, we're going to see that lightning, gusty winds move into the populated areas right around Mandeville and Madisonville. Now, Lacombe, Slidell, Eden Isles, you really haven't had much yet, but it is coming. It'll be on the way. probably in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Norco down to Laplace, seeing quite a bit of rain there, lightning, but actually not quite as bad as it was. Let's come on down and show you what's happening here with this tornado warning. This thing has been kind of holding itself. Let's put this velocity on. And, still we're looking around Raceland. We talked about getting to your safe place in Matthews. Still stay. Now, Des Allemands and Bayou Gauche, if you're in these areas here, you need to get into your safe place now. I would get into it at this point because this is an area that the National Weather Service has continued with the tornado warning. So again, Raceland and Matthews. We want to stick with these tornado warnings, but also within these areas and also these towns where we say, get into your safe place, we can actually check other areas where viewers who are not affected at Raceland, we can show you what's going on in your vicinity. But again, right now, the tornado warning in effect as we continue from Raceland over toward Des Allemands. As the computer goes off, I'm going to leave this up and I'll kind of narrate for you. Lee, Meg, any questions?
You want us to go over power outages for a second,
Yeah,
Bruce?
go over power outage. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, if we can pull up the power outage map, we can kind of go through. Obviously it moved through Tangipahoa Parish. We've been told about 1,300 according to Energy without power in Tangipahoa Parish. St. John Parish has about 1,600 without power right now.
We also know that there are more than 900 outages. This is part of the St. Tammany Washington Cooperative. 200 of those outages, customers in St. Tammany Parish, the other 700 in Washington Parish, and then Bourg, which is south of Houma, has about over 450 customers right now without power. Now, interesting to note that despite the 1,300 customers without power in Tangipahoa Parish, the last update we got from the parish, from the EOC director, was that there was no damage reported there, which is good news. So potentially just power lines that have been snapped or damaged causing these power outages, but no damage, as far as we know at this point, to homes.
And look, all of you are looking at the map right now, and you're used to seeing this. I know from storms and things like that. There's a lot of green on there. So, so far at least the power is holding up, and there's really not a lot of red on the map right now. But look, it's starting to move, Bruce, through the metro area. So we'll see over the next hour or so what happens.
That's what we have to look at. And again, when you zoom in, you can actually see some of the areas and some of the neighborhoods that are actually out. So right now that's looking toward St. Charles and St. John. There's the metro, and you can see a lot of green there. Some of those little red dots indicate maybe up to 50 or 100 homes without power. But even still, the line is not moved through, but we talked about the winds. And again, you get these gusty winds, you see a lot of red dots, although not widespread outages. All of those dots indicate that we are seeing several areas and neighborhoods without power. Now, that's north of Lake Maurepas. That's heading up I-55, right in that vicinity. That's into southern areas of Tangipahoa Parish. And you can see some of the areas within the purple and red indicated by some power outages as that line moves in. Now, you should see the worst of it there with power outages because all in all, the line of storms has pretty much moved east of I-55. So slow but sure, you're getting much better in terms of that, actual system. Let's come on back now to Viper and we can show you exactly what we're talking about. So the area we were looking at in power outages, remember we were talking Lake Maurepas, north of that area into southern areas of Tangipahoa, the line well east of you now. Again, Folsom, you're almost out of it. Covington, you have a little ways to go. Mandeville, you have more to go. But again, as this line moves east of you, all areas here, you're basically done with the severe weather threats. So we're slowly but surely getting out of this mess, but we still have a little ways to go. As we take a look, we do now have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Covington and Mandeville. Earlier, if you recall, it was not under a warning. Now it is. I was concerned about these storms farther south, and as they move northeastward, Covington and Mandeville, we do see now all areas here within this box in orange. These are severe thunderstorm warnings where we could see those strong gusty winds, 55 or greater, dangerous lightning, and also, again, the threat of some power outages if we get enough strong thunderstorm wind. So the line itself, let's take a trip down now. As we can see, now some of these arrows here indicate that we could see, Mandeville, Madisonville, Covington within these severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see here's that box indicating that, around 10:35, Madisonville, Mandeville at 10:36, Big Branch at 10:38, 10:41 Covington. So 35 to 48 is what, 45 to 13 minutes. And you can see, this is going to move at a pretty big clip in about 13 minutes. So from basically Mandeville over to Waldheim, that's what we're going to be looking at as these move through very, very quickly. So 50 to 55, that's the speed that they're moving. And certainly that is definitely good news as we continue to watch that as it moves off to the east and northeast. So once again, as we can see, Mandeville and Madisonville, you're seeing the heavy rain moving in from Covington, traveling north on the line. Folsom, you're just about out of it. St. Benedict over to Waldheim. Covington, you're still in it. Sun and Bush, you still have more to go. Henleyfield, you got more to go. Lees Creek and Bogalusa, up to Varnado, Pine and Sheridan, over to the state line, heading over toward Angie. So east of this area, we have all these regions here where you see the arrow pointing. These have more time to go with the threat of some of these strong thunderstorms. Once again, Lake Maurepas, beginning to see a little bit of a break. Coming in from the Place. Luling, Norco, Destrehan, Gazalmans along I-310. Here is Chateau Estates, a little light rain. Heading into Metairie as we go toward Williams Boulevard, say Power Boulevard, over to Clearview, Transcontinental. There's Causeway, a little light rain over to Bucktown, West End and Lakeview. Bonneville, Metairie, Old Metairie, not a whole lot, but this mess is going to be heading your way as we continue over the next 30 to 45 minutes. Let's go back to that tornado warning and see what we're looking at this point. And once again, this thing has really been, kind of long-tracked, I have to say. Now, it'll be interesting to see whether or not we actually have any type of tornadic or damage. But around Des Allemands and Bayou Gauche, we were saying, get into your safe place. Again, you need to stay there right now. This, at least Winfield is over you, and around Paradis, Boutte, those areas will be next. So if you live around Paradis and Boutte, I would certainly get into the interior of your room. If you get enough wind and you get power outages, remember your Fox 8 weather app. It has live stream on it. If the power goes out, the cell towers, by law, have to have generators on each one, so you would get your information if it is fed by your carrier, Verizon, AT&T, or whomever. So once again, you can get that information, and we'll let you know when to get out of your safe place if indeed you can't turn your TV loud or you do lose power. So as you can see, Des Allemands, Bayou Gauche, be in your safe place, up to Paradis as well. Meg, you got something to say?
I was going to ask you, Bruce, what are the wind speeds looking like once the line moves through? And I ask that because Entergy, we know, has crews on standby right now.
Gotcha.
We just got the update from St. John Parish that the 1,000 or so people without power in Laplace are expected to have a restoration time of 12:30 this morning. So I know the linemen can only go up if the wind speeds are down to a certain amount. So
I believe
what
that
are the
30
winds?
or 30.
It's around 30 to 35.
Right, so they can't go up unless, but, actually, let's do that, Meg. That's a good idea. Let's stay on max 1 if we can, guys. And I want to put on the actual wind speeds here.
Because it's cold tonight, so obviously people, without power are going to be worried about not having heat.
Yeah. Certainly. So the wind forecast itself, as it loads up right here. All right, as you can see, over the next hour, as the line moves in, toward Reserve, you're still looking at 35 to 40 on the gusts, so it may be a little bit longer before they can get out there.
And that's probably why they're estimating like 12:30 or so, too.
Exactly. Right.
Because of MedQuest, I'm actually the first one to finish college. And just the thought that I'm going to graduate and I'm going to be a dental assistant, it's amazing. I feel so proud of myself. This is going to really change my life. MedQuest has done this for me, and I'm forever grateful.
Are you ready to discover what's possible? Visit medquestcollege.edu.
Heading over toward Reserve in the next, say, hour and a half, 2 hours, down to 27. The city down to 22 to 23. So, Lee, you're probably right. We hate to assume on, power, but nevertheless, the winds being that strong still at this point, that could be certainly an issue. Here are the actual winds real time. So as we put these on real time, we're looking at 21, but here are the wind gusts in that area. up to just about probably, 33. So it's probably a little too strong for them to get up. The lakefront right now gusting up to 38 to 40, 35 to 40 in Slidell, Bogalusa up to 36. So again, we are still looking at still quite a bit of wind at this point, and it looks as though it probably will take another hour or two before these things settle down. So let's come back to that tornado warning again, and boy, I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting to see if they keep going with this thing. Des Allemands, Bayou Gauche, again, should be in your safe place right now. If not a tornado, we're seeing, again, just kind of an interesting signature where these greens are coming together with the red, kind of a wind field more than likely with the actual, line of storms. But whether or not there's an actual tornado on the ground in the NWS chat, we have not had a confirmation. However, when they put the warning out and you see what's going on, you need to see what's going on there in terms of, the possibility of that. Now, over in New Roads, Point Coupee Parish, emergency managers are saying that mobile homes were turned over and more trees in the area have been blown down from estimated radar with 3 minor injuries, moderate injuries transported to a local hospital. That was toward Point Coupee Parish, which again is kind of northwest of the Baton Rouge area. So this thing is out of line. I mean, it's had a line of tornadoes, strong gusty winds. It's had a line of a lot of lightning. And again, we're looking at this area here near Des Allemands, heading up to Boutte. If you're in this area, get into your safe place, and we're going to see whether or not in the next 4 minutes that the Weather Service either drops this warning or they do keep it. So again, what we're looking at is till 10:30, we'll see whether or not they do or don't actually drop this tornado warning. Nevertheless, on the North Shore, I'm going to bring it back to the reflectivity here. We'll get out of the velocity. The velocity with this green and red, great product to show you what's happening in terms of the potential of any type of, tornadic winds. But here's the main line. I'll turn off the actual numbers and we can show you, put this into motion here. This is over the last 15 minutes. And you can see the line is definitely making progress as it moves off to the east. So as it moves eastward, areas where you're east of or west of the line, I-59, you're pretty much done. Now, St. Charles, St. John, right now, you're in it, heavy storms, and these are getting ready to move in to the metro on the South Shore. So as it moves in, get ready. You're going to see wind gusts up to 30 to 40 at times, sustained up to 25 to 30 as the line moves in, and quite a bit of lightning as well. Now, the lightning counter kind of tells the story, too. If these numbers are growing, that means that the line is either holding its own or getting stronger. What I'm kind of liking is earlier we had a 97, now we're down to 64. So when you see the actual counter on the clock, if this number drops, that tells us that the storms are still pretty potent. However, they're not getting any stronger, which indeed is great news. So on the northern end, it is moving a bit more quickly into Bogalusa, into Washington Parish, down to Mandeville and Madisonville. Boy, right now you're getting it pretty hard. Also down toward, say, Luling, Destrehan, down I-310, some big storms over toward LaPlace. And then as we come on down to Cutoff, Houma, Thibodaux, don't want to forget you guys. Houma, you're basically done with it now. Good news there. Terrio, you're done. Still some light to moderate rain, gusty winds, but the threat to the west of this area, you're finished. All that now is going to be more moderating air. It's going to be more stable air moving in as the main line itself kicks off to the east, and that's what we want to see. So here is basically Bayou Gauche down toward Valentine and Cutoff. Here's Lake Salvador. So the farther south we are, that line does continue all the way down to Chauvin and Dulac. But west of that area, Dulac, you're pretty much done with it in the next few minutes. Houma, you're done. Gray, Schriever, Donner, you're all done with it now with the threat of severe storms. But we still have to go through the major metro as we watch that line move in. So Luling, Norco, Destrehan, Boutte, seeing these heavy storms. Right now, we're coming in toward Loyola. Chateau Estates here. So basically, you're looking at Chateau Boulevard, and then farther west, you're looking at Loyola, Williams over here. So this line is now moving in to the northern end of Kenner. So tornado warning, South Shore. Let's see if that is an update or if they've actually dropped it. And we will see here. All right, so this is a new tornado warning. All right, let's get right to it. And this one is a little bit closer to home the way it looks. Tornado warning for Jefferson, Lafourche, St. Charles, 1029, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado and straight line winds from Bayou Gauche or 10 miles south of Hanville, moving northeast at about 30. So let's take this off. Let's put in the actual warnings. We'll go in and check the velocity, and let's check out and see if we're seeing these winds to and from the radar. We'll stop that, put in the velocity itself, and, well, what they did was actually National Weather Service on radar there, what they're seeing is definite wind fields that could create rotation as it moves off to the north and east. So this is an extended warning now as we go to Wagaman and off to Kenner, north into parts of the major Metairie area at this point. So it's east of Norco and to the west of Gentilly. So here's the causeway. So maybe just east of the 17th Street Canal, maybe around, let's say Marconi, westward, all the way throughout areas of Kenner and parts of Metairie, all the way down to Wagaman, on the West Bank, Luling and Booty, you're in that as well. So it's pretty interesting where we're seeing this area here. Let's see if we can get rid of that. This area here from Bayou Gauche, we're seeing the potential of strong damaging winds or a possible tornado in this area here. So Bayou Gauche heading over toward the Almonds, you should be in your safe place as this begins to move northeastward, more over some rural area here, but Avondale, here's Harahan over to River Ridge. So certainly this is a very extended warning that we're watching. Now down toward Carmel as well, we're seeing this whole area here, very interesting, where we're seeing from Bayou Gauche down toward areas of Carmel. The beep indicates a severe thunderstorm warning more than likely. Let's go back to it, and we can kind of show you what's going on here. Let's see. So they've updated the tornado watch to take out some parishes to the west of us. So again, that's just kind of an update here. But the major metro still under a tornado watch until, although you say 1 o'clock, once the line clears, they give it about 30 minutes to clear the area, then we kind of peel off the watches. So I think most of us, South Shore, North Shore, before 1 o'clock will be out of the watch, but they kind of extended just to make sure that they're covering their bases on the entire area. So the area that we're watching right now is down toward Carmel and also Bayou Gauche. This has been an area that's been a bit persistent over the last 15 to 20 minutes, and it's been really kind of holding its own as well. So definitely something we're going to be watching pretty closely as it moves northeastward. In fact, what we can do is I'm going to put in about a 15-minute loop here, and let's kind of track it. You can kind of see what it's done all the way where we had the earlier warning from Matthews, now shifting eastward, but watch how quickly Bayou Gauche here, and then Matthews way down here. So this is tracked basically, arms aren't long enough. You can see in this vicinity here, but it is moving northeastward, and they have extended that warning all the way, I'll stop this, into parts of Jefferson and also into Orleans Parish. So again, this is something we're going to be looking at in terms of, will it hold together toward Wagaman, toward River Ridge and Harahan? At this point, you're in okay shape. But down to Carmel, down to Bayou Gauche, these are the areas that we're watching for the potential of rotation. So tornado warning, let's see what this is. We're going to have another one coming down. Just hitting it. Let's see. Right. All right, at this point, they're going to continue with the...
Cozy up to the ultimate comfort food with Slim's Mac Bowl meals. Try the Tender Mac Bowl meal or the Buffalo Tender Mac Bowl meal. But hurry, they're only around for a limited time. Download the Slim Chickens app to order and earn rewards.